Hey, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Welcome in.
Welcome in. It's good to see everybody tonight already in the chat. Thanks so much, guys, for being in here. we love
Yeah.
to, we look forward to seeing you guys. I've got
Oh,
several
yeah.
in chat already. We'll holler at some of the folks in the chat. Mike Wheeler, James Ryan, welcome in, guys. Big Disney fan. Hey, Keith. So good to see you guys. Griswold family vacay. Good to see you. Dean, Dean the turkey legster. Dean
Oh, yeah.
makes us smile. It's so good to see y'all. And hey, Stacy, good to see you. Thanks for dropping in, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah. We have a really special guest. We're so excited to have Amy with AJC Magic TV join us tonight. It's so much fun to see you, Amy, and I'm glad you were able to join us tonight. We've just always, we've gotten to know you, through other Disney YouTubers, and really enjoy your content. Y'all go check out Amy's channel, and it's nice to have you here.
Thank you. It's exciting to be here and get to know everyone, and everyone get to know who I am.
There you go. There you go. Elena, K808. Aloha. Carol, hey, Karki. Good to see you.
James, that is some high praise right there from James. James says, and for the record, Amy is one of my all-time favorite YouTube creators.
Wow, Amy.
Yeah, James is very nice.
That's high praise.
Thank you. Thank you, James.
James is one of our favorite YouTubers as well. He may not be a creator, but he's one of our ghost hosts and just one of the nicest guys. Yeah. So that's really sweet.
Very encouraging.
Yeah. And Keith, so many people already in here. So good to see you guys. I'll just read a little bit of Disney history. We always do this at the beginning of the show because we really enjoy Disney history. 1935 actor Jerry Orbach, I don't know if you remember him, he was the voice of Lumiere in Disney's Beauty and the Beast, was born in the Bronx, New York. He also voiced the candlestick for Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, and Belle's Magical World. So I thought that was kind of cool.
A guy from the Bronx.
Yes.
Voiced Lumiere?
Yes. That's what it's
French.
I didn't know where he was from. Yeah. He absolutely did.
That is crazy. Did it say that he, I don't know if you got the information or not, but did he grow up there as well?
He said he was born. He said he was born in the Bronx. So
wow.
I don't know if he grew up there too. But yeah, that's
it didn't seem like he ever had that strong Bronx accent or something.
Well, yeah, because you think about that Bronx accent is very distinctive.
Oh yeah.
Really pronounced. So yeah.
The main thing I think of when I think of the Bronx accent was Jillian and I went to Disney World back in 2016. And there was like a grandfather, and I'm guessing his grandson, and they were talking about like sports teams that they like, and the grandfather said, I think the grandson said he liked the Dodgers, and he said, it's like been ingrained in my memory ever since. We were riding on one of the buses between parks. We were park hopping, and that grandfather said, the Dodgers. I haven't liked the Dodgers since they left Brooklyn. And so anytime I think of the Dodgers or the Bronx accent, that immediately comes to my mind. It's the funniest thing, but yeah, it's super random, but I had to throw it out there.
Yeah, you've told us about how funny that was. That's part of one of the reasons I enjoy going to Disney is listening to conversations around, people. You just pick up, random pieces.
Talking to people on the bus.
People watching, really nice people. If you engage, people. A lot of people are just really, 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 really cool. Okay, in 1940.
Welcome into Mickey Sightings and What in the World with Russ.
Good to see you. Hey, Russ.
Hello,
And
Russ
good to
and
see
Mickey
you.
Sighting, Sean.
Exciting. Sean, it's good to see you. 1941, and I love travel. Walt Disney and his wife Lillian and 8 of his employees arrive in New York City. When the ship they are on, the Santa Clara, docks at 16th Street on this Monday morning. They have traveled from South America, where they've spent the last 2 months. 3 days later, they will attend the world premiere of Dumbo at the Broadway Theater. So that's kind
Neat.
of cool. 1965, as Disney has now this is kind of cool. 1965, as Disney has secretly purchased much of the land needed to build a new Florida theme park and resort, news of the project is leaked to the Orlando Sentinel. So it got out. They kept that under wraps. The Florida project, the land purchase, as long as that's Russ. That's funny. That's
a really good one, Russ.
That is a good one. Forget about it. Forget about it. There it is. Would that be our guest? I can't do it. 1982. Although Epcot has been open since October 1st, an official dedication takes place on this day for the new Japan Pavilion in the World Showcase. So that's kind of cool. The Japan Pavilion, which is one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites also.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And William, this last one is going to be of interest to you. In 1997, the Disney Channel debuts Bear in the Big Blue House, which is a new series produced by the Jim Henson Company. The show centers on a bear, a curious brown bear with a good sense of smell who lives in the Big Blue House with his friends Ojo, Tutter, Trilo, Pip, and Pop. In 2004, the Jim Henson Company sold the Bear in the Big Blue House franchise to the Walt Disney Company. So
that's really cool. That's one that I've been rooting for to show up on Disney Plus.
Yes,
because I think Wyatt would love it.
Have you ever watched Bear in the Big Blue House, Amy? Do you remember that one?
Yes. My niece, basically.
Oh,
my niece and nephew, and then it was one of the first Playhouse Disney shows that they did in the Hollywood studios. Yeah. So, we watched all of that Playhouse Disney.
Jeff and Angela. Yeah. It was really, it was just wonderful, and it's from William's era, so he has a lot of.
It's more so Adam's era than it is mine.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I guess
because we were going to the parks, and they had. I remember that first or second time we went to the parks after we had that extended break from the time I was like 3 years old until I was like maybe eighth grade, going into ninth. There was that stretch where we just didn't go to the parks for whatever reason, and I can remember those first couple of trips we went, this is probably 05, 06, 07-ish. They had that, it seems like they had that stage show there at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, well, anyway, I loved Bear in the Big Blue House. But let's talk with Amy a little bit about yours as a cast member.
Yeah.
We have gotten to know you, of course, through our great Disney YouTube community, as we have so many others that we consider true friends, and everybody in the chat. We feel like we know you. We've only met a couple of you, but in person. But we just we love this family, and so we're just glad that you could be here tonight. And tell us about when you worked at Walt Disney World. What took you down there, and how did that all come about?
Well, of course, I didn't go to Disney World till I was actually going into high school for my first trip ever. So that first time is when Epcot first opened, that first summer of Epcot, and was just so mesmerized because we got to go to both parks, the Magic Kingdom and Epcot and River Country, and it was just like, wow, this place is like mesmerizing. And the old Epcot, you hear a lot of people talk about those old retro days there of the rides, and you were just like, wow, this is like incredible. And then we went back down again, and it was talking to other people, and was just like, wow, this is someplace I would love to come back and work at and strive for. During my college time, there was a local college here in Pittsburgh. I actually went to college about an hour away from Pittsburgh, and they would advertise the Disney College program at their university here in Pittsburgh. At that time, it's called Robert Morris College. Now it's Robert Morris University. But they would have advertisements of, hey, come, and we're having Disney recruiters talk about the college program. So I actually made the trip back home to see what it was about and decided, hey, maybe I'll give it a try. And it is, even back then, it was hard to even get your applications in. They would have tons of applications. I know now it's even harder of how they do things, but in those days, you actually filled out the paper applications and you would talk to them while you were there at the event, and then they would call you back if you made it through that part, and you just go from there. A lot of times, since I wasn't sure like about taking off like a fall or spring semester, I would go for the summer semester, but it would fill up pretty quickly because that was their most popular time for obvious reasons. You weren't losing out a semester or anything like that. When I was getting ready to graduate, I was with some friends at a convention in Orlando and Daytona Beach area. I was actually in a degree program at Slippery Rock University, which was in Parks and Recreation, which offered an area in the not total tourism, but a commercial recreation area. And I went while I was on certain trips. They had different areas down in Florida that had like little pop-up conventions of talking about different parks and recreation of different resorts from all over the United States that you could get internships or even different jobs and stuff. So I went with some friends.
Welcome in, Garrett.
And they had a table there talking about their college program, and then what they would probably call nowadays with their with the college program that they have these days called like their extension. So they were offering for anyone who was getting ready to graduate a new program of their college extension. And they were looking for people recruiting and everything. So I had put my name in for it, and then they had asked, are you able to come down and interview at casting and everything like that? So my brother and sister-in-law, we flew down, and I went over to the real casting building and went for the interview. And about a week later, they called and said, hey, if you're interested, we will offer you a position. It was set up with the housing, and which was really nice at that time. I know nowadays that area isn't as nice as what they have now for casting, but it was the Vista Way complex, a Vista Way apartment complex. It's one of their older ones, but it was in a great location, right off of I-4 and that 535 where the outlets area is. It's still located there, and so it didn't really take that long to get on to Disney property. They did offer shuttles if you wanted shuttles. I actually drove my car down to Florida, and which was very helpful if you are able to do that when you're on one of their programs like that. Just gives you a little more flexibility.
Oh yeah.
And in those days, though, they had different areas of where you can choose. You know, you put down like your top 3 areas of stuff, but they were also a little bit more restrictive in how they had things set up. So certain positions that they wanted to be filled, and most of the time the culinary and food and beverage was one of the areas, costuming, and then the custodial or transportation type of thing. I actually was working at a local amusement park back here in Pittsburgh called Kennywood Park in their food industry area. And I decided I would They had offered costuming or food and beverage, and I wasn't sure what costuming would be and everything like that. But so I decided I'll go with the food and beverage and the culinary area. And of course, that was the first summer that Hollywood. In those days, it was called Disney MGM Studios.
Yes.
Just opened up, and now it's called, of course, Hollywood Studios. And I was placed at the Hollywood and Vine restaurant for the food and beverage and culinary at the Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
And in those days, Hollywood and Vine was not the character buffet that you now know.
Right.
Okay.
It was more like a cafeteria style where you could just go in, you got in line, and they had two sides, and you picked different entrees that they had. And they would serve up a rib dinner, a pasta dinner. You could get salads,
Okay.
have chickens. They did offer a fish menu if you needed that. So, and then you could pick a dessert and a beverage. And that was basically your meal. So it wasn't all you can eat. You just go in, pick your entree, and that would be your meal. Where now, later on down the road, of course, they changed it to a buffet and the characters. And I can't remember when that actually turned into a buffet character restaurant. It had to have been somewhere like in the late 90s, maybe. I don't know if Mike Wheeler, if he's in the chat, he might know. Sometimes he knows those little facts, or someone else. That
Tina, we're glad you made it.
But yeah, just from the first time of walking into Walt Disney World, into the Magic Kingdom and Epcot, and being like, "Wow, this would be great." I knew a friend of mine. Their family had moved there later on after while I was in college, and she actually started working for Disney and really got me like, wow, I really want to really try to go there and get in. And
right.
And so I just, I was placed at the Hollywood and Vine. I worked there for a few months, and the kitchen actually is connected to the kitchen to the Primetime Cafe. And
okay. Yeah.
After the program that I was part of was over, I was able to switch over to the kitchens because the chef that I was working with at Hollywood and Vine was then moved over to that particular side of the restaurant. So they get moved around, or they choose to move around and everything like that. And so he had asked if I would be interested in going on that side. And that was a little bit different because it is table service, and you're cooking to order or serving or whatever. I didn't really do a lot of the serving, but I did do a lot of the culinary stuff, but was able to learn the front of the house and more of the back of the house type of things. So, like those peanut butter and jelly milkshakes everybody talks about. I got to learn how to make those.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So you know how to make those, Amy? What time should we show up?
I had one of those for the first time on our last trip, actually.
Yes. They're good. The milkshakes are good. They're of course, they always had the meatloaf and the pot roast on their menu. Some of the other things were changed around nowadays. Now they have the fried chicken. They used to have a lunch and then a dinner menu. The lunchtime, they would do some sandwiches, burgers. They actually had these incredible cheese fries with the melted cheese that they had.
Was it the plastic cheese, Amy?
No, it was actually fresh grated. I believe it was Vermont cheddar cheese.
Oh my!
Wow. And we stuck it under like a toaster broiler type of thing and melted the cheese. I love those fries. In fact, I love fries that are with that fresh grated cheese like that, and rather than the plastic cheese.
Like
But yeah, I would just go to the park sometimes and go to the bar area and just order those, and
Oh,
they have
yeah.
that little dad's bar or dad's
Yeah.
den in the front of their restaurant there.
That's so cool. Like it feels like that area, that little like living room-esque like den, kind of dad's area.
Yeah.
Completely feels like it just throws you back in time.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and it was fun. Of course. Okay, Mike, I see he said he didn't know the answer. But yeah, it was a fun place. I don't know if they do a lot of the antiques that they did back then. You have to remember, I worked there in the early 90s, and I know things over time evolve and things change a little bit, but they try to keep that where clean your plate or do the little airplane thing, or, if you went to wash your hands, the waiter or waitress would be like, well, what color was the soap? Was it pink or blue? Make sure you wash your hands.
We've got a lovely chat going, guys.
Yeah, I was wondering if there were any. Yeah, I was wondering if what kind of tricks they had back then, because I know, Miss Patty, the server that we had on this past trip, said she wasn't able to do some of her usual tricks because of all the kind of social distancing guidelines and stuff. Yeah. And so I was curious if you knew any servers that had some really funny tricks that they would play on some of the guests or what.
Yeah, a lot of times they would get mom or dad, so the kids would have like, oh, you didn't know your vegetables, Dad, or they fed you with an airplane, or they would give you the clean plate, blue clean plate sticker. Or you couldn't have dessert until you at least ate one more bite of that vegetable.
Wonderful. I love Cheese Whiz. Cheese Whiz. It's okay. It's okay, Garrett. Cheese Whiz is not gross. We love Cheese Whiz.
But and they would always.
Danny was asking where the shakes are from. The peanut butter and jelly shakes.
At the Primetime Cafe.
50s Primetime.
Those actually were I don't want to say homemade. It wasn't made from a mix. You actually put the ice cream, and then they had a peanut butter and jelly mix that you poured in with the milk, and then you actually made the
Tina McNeil says the teapot song.
Yeah, that was another one, Tina. Yeah, the teapot song.
Is that the elbows on the table thing? Is that what they would make you do?
Yeah,
okay.
They had the elbows on the table. Then of course, like when you came in, they would introduce you to the other tables, like, "Hey, cousin Will," or "Cousin Don."
See, I want to do that. I really want to go when we kind of get back to normal, because I know that 50s Primetime is so much fun. 50s Primetime, for you guys who don't know don't know about that particular restaurant, is tons of fun. It's in Epcot, and the atmosphere is okay. You're going to eat at your aunt's table, and all your cousins are there, and all the servers are your cousins, and they treat you. The food is, like home cooking, fried chicken, grub stuff. And it's just a lot of fun. And like they, if you get caught with your elbows on the table, you might have to get up and sing I'm a little teapot. Or it's just a lot of fun. And you can tell them, that you don't want to participate if you want to. You can opt out. You just want to watch. But I've heard that it's just tons of fun from everybody that's been there.
And it is a hit or miss, because sometimes you get some servers that are really into it versus some that they'll do something but not as much.
Right.
So you just have to keep that in mind. But like you said, and I'm not sure how much they really now interact as much. I know these times, like you said, with the social distancing and stuff. But even over time of what their rules and stuff are, you just have to remember that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, some people are not don't want to be trifled with, and they don't understand that it's you're having fun here.
Yeah, it's
that's just like Whispering Canyon Cafe. Would be kind of loud, and they've sort of toned it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But then as I was there and got to know a couple of the different chefs, and they had a culinary program where kids who wanted to go to culinary school and stuff, they would become part of the Disney culinary program. I was not part of it, but some of the people that I worked with was part of that. But a lot of times the chefs would allow me to learn what they were doing and stuff like that, because I got to be friends with them and different stuff. So I know, like, one night, one of the chefs that I worked with, he had moved to the Brown Derby, and they were looking for people to help over there. So he asked, "Hey, do you want to come help us at the Brown Derby and stuff?" So I got to work back there for a little bit.
Neat.
The Brown Derby is one of my favorite restaurants in all of Disney World. And William can testify. I love the Brown Derby. I just love it.
Yeah, you're a big fan of that Cobb salad.
Oh man,
Jeff and Angela got that, and they had a day at Hollywood Studios Video not that long ago.
Yeah,
and they had some really good stuff.
Oh yeah, they have, their menu is wonderful, and if you go in to the Brown Derby, you can actually forget that you're in Hollywood Studios.
They have all the
so nice
different pictures and stuff on the walls, and
it's like a retreat from the parks. You know, it is. They have it's modeled after the original Hollywood Brown Derby. Is that right, Amy?
Yeah, yes, it's based after that, and it looks like what it used to look like.
Yeah,
so all their stuff.
So neat. The food is
like
good.
We used to help them make up the salad at the Hollywood and Vine, where you chop that whatever spinach or lettuce and stuff. But I personally, not that I was not a fan of the Cobb salad. I'm not really into eggs, but then once then there's something else to it that I wasn't sure of, but I did love the steaks and stuff at the Brown Derby.
Yeah.
They also now have that outside lounge. It's really nice. So just looking
I hit that lounge the last time I went. This past September was the last time I was in Disney, and the lounge opens at 11 o'clock, and you have to. I just went over there and stood in line, and it was just a really pleasant day. They were still doing the Star Wars stage show. So I watched that. I sat outside in the lounge. You don't have to have reservations for the lounge, and you can order pretty much everything from the restaurant menu in the lounge. A lot of people don't realize that. But yeah, it's Stacy, it's at the only Brown Derby. Yeah, sadly, but I'm so glad it's still there. If it's a little more expensive, it's a little more upscale, but I love to make, I have a reservation at the Brown Derby in November. It's nice to go in there, cool off, sit down, dump all your stuff, get something nice and cold to eat, just enjoy the atmosphere and have a really nice meal. Yeah. And the Brown Derby is it's fantastic for that. I love it. Highly recommend the Brown Derby. So
yeah, James Ryan says two places are like that: the Brown Derby at Hollywood Studios and Tiffin's in Animal Kingdom. You step out of the park and into an oasis of elegance.
Yeah, they're very, very elegant in there.
So well put.
And
so well put.
And then they were starting to expand where they brought in, at the time I was working at, I applied to help them with the sci-fi restaurant and that ABC commissary, because they actually, the kitchens are shared by both places with the sci-fi and the ABC commissary. The one person, one of my roommates actually worked at the ABC commissary, and then I helped out with the sci-fi restaurant, which is the drive-in type of thing. I like the drive-ins. I thought it was a really cool theme. The food probably could be more drive-in-ish type food, but and I know sometimes people say it's a hit or miss. My last trip, I actually had a really nice steak dinner there. And maybe just because I was hungry, it tasted good, but I felt like I've never really had a bad meal there, but I know it could be there are some different things on there that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike has. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get distracted. But Mike has just referenced. You did Block Party Bash too, Mike. Oh my gosh, those stress balls! We
have 3 of them.
We have 3 of those stress balls. I love Block Party Bash. Were you a dancer in Block Party Bash, Mike? What did you do in that?
The first time we watched the parade, we were startled by, all the balls shot out of the floats, and we were startled by it.
At the end of the parade,
and so I think
all these stress balls, little Nerf balls.
Little Nerf balls, yeah.
Oh yes, it was so cool.
And so we did it again, and we were ready the second time around and got a couple of the Nerf balls. We only got 1 the first time, but we got a couple more, and each of them was a different color. So
we did, yeah. We have red, blue, and yellow. We did not get the green, but it was the coolest thing. Mike, what did you do in that parade? That is so cool that you were part of it. That's one of our favorite Disney parades. Do you remember? I'm sure you remember that, Amy, the Block Party Bash.
Oh, yes, I remember. They had the motor car.
Yes.
And then they did the Pixar Block Party. I remember that where, like you said, they shot out the balls because those were a little bit later.
Yeah.
But I really loved where they had the cars that were themed after each category, like the Star Wars car, and
I remember
and stuff.
Yeah,
he may have thrown them at you, even though
who knows?
You may have. That would be so cool. But yeah, that is so cool, Mike, that you were there. We absolutely love Hollywood Studios. A lot of people, Amy, kind of before Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Galaxy's Edge, there were a lot of people who would go into Hollywood Studios and they considered it a half-day park.
Yeah,
we never thought of it as a half-day park, did we?
Yeah, I never really thought of it as a half-day park. Just because there was a lot of things that I was always into it. Even just doing the backlot tours that they had the. When it first opened, they had a separate walking backlot tour, and then they had the actual tram tour.
Lots Action. What was it? Lots Action Motors.
That came later. That was the stunt show that came later in the residential area and stuff. But this was like.
So what all was in the walking? Yeah, what all was in that walking tour?
Well, the walking tour when you first started out. They had the area where they had that little like tugboat like house and that little pool, and they demonstrated depending on what the movie was hit that time. I know towards the end of the time, I think Pearl Harbor might have been what they were featuring, showing you they had volunteers, 2 people go out onto that thing and show you how they dump water or show the water effects of like a plane attack or whatever.
That's neat.
Yeah. And then you went through.
Hold on just a second, Amy. I'm calling out Jeff and Garrett. You guys be nice to each other in our stream. Okay. Set the example. Y'all are killing me.
Always a mess.
That's okay.
I was going to say, Mike said that he was part of the Toy Story dance section, and then he also said Disney stars and motor cars used to be the old parade.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, that I just absolutely love that. But Amy, gosh, that's do you okay? Let me ask you this. You talked about, you made a trip down there and you were. Tell us a little bit more about what is it about Disney that grabbed your attention? What is it that made you think, gosh, I really want to work here? Because sometimes it's kind of different for everybody. Not everybody is a Disney nut like we are. I'm always fascinated to hear people explain why they love Disney so much.
Yeah.
I think I just really fell in love with, really mesmerized by the animatronics. I mean, I can remember sitting there. I mean, one of the big examples that people always wonder, like when you go into the Hall of Presidents and you're sitting there, like, and they start moving a little bit while they're kind of talking, and you're like, is that real? Is that not? And then I'm switching to Epcot, but the American Adventure Pavilion, the same thing with those like animatronics. You're sitting back looking at that, like, wow, this is like
Oh yeah.
incredible. And of course, back then, and I know people that are old Epcot people, for me, the Imagination Pavilion was incredible. The Figment ride and the music and if you ever get to see, I know Josh from Resort TV1 showed the old version of the Imagination. Yeah, some of the parts might be a little scarier, spookier, but it was just incredible. And Figment has become a favorite of mine. I remember my trip. By the time the trip was done, I was taking my Figment doll home, and that was like and bought one for my grandmother because they had made a trip down, and she wanted one of them. So
cool.
And I know a lot of the attractions where Test Track was the World of Motion. Rob Fuzz and Resort TV1 have shown a lot of those retro things. When I worked there, trying to think when Horizons, I know the Wonders Pavilion was open because I had a friend who worked at Body Wars, and I think Horizons might have just opened right around that time. And
how was Body Wars? That's one that I've heard of, but I don't know anything about it. And I've heard some people kind of rally to say like they should bring something Inside Out themed back with Body Wars.
What they're thinking, the Inside Out. There was another show that you're thinking of where I can't remember the name of it, but it was a show where they were inside a boy, and there was a animatronic that supposedly got stolen, and it's called Buzzy, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm not sure if somebody out there in the chat might know the name, but Body Wars was actually like something like Star Tours.
Okay.
Okay. You were actually put into one of those.
Where was it?
In the Wonders of Life Pavilion, which is now it's going to become the play place, I believe.
Okay.
Whenever they get that all
right. See, I don't remember that one. Do you remember that one?
It was like a yellow dome building.
I don't remember.
Mike Wheeler says Cranium Command.
Yeah, Cranium Command. So
wow.
The one that they should have done with the Inside Out theme.
Cranium. Okay. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna make a note of that.
And it was sponsored by Metropolitan Life, and they had like bicycles and different displays, but the Body Wars was kind of like Star Tours, the vehicle, and you got shrunken down and inserted into a body looking for a splinter. I thought it was kind of rough. I know Star Tours, some people can't watch that. It was kind of like on that type of, and in those times, that's the way the simulators were.
Yeah.
Right.
Where you were in the big vehicles and you got shrunk down and you were looking for the splinter, and then when they found it, you kind of got stuck, and then you of course they had to figure out a way to get you out of there and back to normal size.
I got you.
So the ride was that you're shrunk down to like microscopic size, and they sent you into the human body where this guy had a splinter.
Yes.
See, that to me, Epcot is so much about learning and, teaching, and I think that is fascinating. I realize it's probably not, like today it might be considered a little too much, but I think that's just fascinating. And I have heard of that. Now that you describe it, Amy, I have heard of it.
Yeah. So, and it was kind of off to the like left-hand side, and then in the middle was Cranium Command, and then they did have a movie that Martin Short did, I think, about the making of You and Me. type of thing. So different show times and
Uh-huh.
just different displays on health and fitness
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
So the wonders of life, but and just
True.
the Magic Kingdom itself. I can remember I've heard about the Haunted Mansion and I seen a video where, although it was more Disneyland because the Osmond family was going into the Haunted Mansion and walking in, and I wasn't sure what to expect. Was this going to be scary or was this going to be funny? And so you're kind of nervous at first, but boy, just that fascination of your imagination. And for granted, I was almost a high schooler, teenager person, and I don't know, it's just the magic, and even as a college student and an adult walking in there, and you're just in a whole different world of that friendliness and everything. So
yeah, it's true. It's that Disney bubble. It's that Disney magic. I know a lot of people can go into Disney and you kind of see what you're looking for sometimes. I think, a lot of people go in and they see, everything's overpriced. This is all kind of childish. I get that. I know that Disney is not necessarily.
It's not for everyone. And I get that. I have friends at my church. Well, I didn't really like it. It was too crowded or whatever. But nowadays you do have to plan. Back then there were 2 parks. We really didn't know too much about the parks itself, but I knew of attractions and stuff. And at that time, only the Polynesian and Contemporary Resort was there. We didn't stay there. We stayed International Drive was one of the big places that you stayed at, or in that Lake Buena Vista area. So,
what do you have? Do you have any like favorite experiences, maybe interactions with guests, or anything that kind of sticks out in your memory?
More of my interaction with guests would have been after, since a lot of times I wasn't really with the guests most of the time during my day. It would be more like if I was out at the parks in the evening. I can remember being at the Magic Kingdom waiting for the electrical light parade and sitting on the sidewalk and talking with different families and kids. They would be excited about stuff and talk about where they were staying and stuff like that. So that was more my interaction. Probably getting up Christmas Day, and so I was actually off in the morning and was able to. In those days, they actually filmed the Christmas Day parade on Christmas. Getting to meet Regis Philbin on the street because he used to wander up and down the street and kind of watch the parade for a little bit, and then you got to see how they did it and everything like that because they did stop it and stuff. Now it's a big production of a little bit of commercialism, but then it's not as like when you see it on Christmas Day, it's not like the way it was at that time.
It has changed. I have met Regis Philbin. Of course, he passed away months ago. It just about broke my heart. I thought Regis Philbin might be one of the last true gentlemen on the planet. I think he was just really neat. We were fortunate enough, in the 90s to go to, first time we went to New York, we were able to go to Regis and Kelly and met him after the show, and Regis and Kathy Lee. And they were both just really, really sweet. But done a little bit differently, but definitely, just such great memories, Okay, so the big question that everybody wants to know, what's your favorite ride? What's your favorite attraction?
That's kind of hard because now it's like all the different parks. I would say if I went park by park, the Haunted Mansion is my favorite at the Magic Kingdom. That's always a classic. I've been known having an AP, getting on a bus, going in, hopping the train, get off at Frontierland, walk ride the Haunted Mansion, get back on the train somewhere else after walking and leaving the park. Just to go in and do that. You know. You could do that with an AP and just,
Yeah.
you know, depending on what time of the day and how late the parks were open.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
At Hollywood Studios, I'm gonna have to say Rise of the Resistance. It's a whole different experience. If Galaxy's Edge wasn't there, the Tower of Terror, that's a newer one. But back in the day, the Great Movie Ride was my favorite.
Oh,
I'm a big movie buff. That was incredible. Another attraction that isn't there anymore, and it was always fun to try to get picked for. And some people in the chat may know, was Superstar Television that they had, and it was where Frozen Sing Along is now.
Okay.
Interesting.
Back then, I guess they had the licenses to various television shows and stuff, and you got picked from the audience. Well, they would do it beforehand, but you got picked to be parts of it. One of the things was the Lucy scene where they're doing the candy,
cool.
The candy scene from that movie. They also picked someone to do like the Walter Cronkite moon landing, Gilligan's Island advertisement. So there was a bunch of different things and different audience people that got picked for that. But so a lot of those old time things at Hollywood Studios was always fun. And
definitely.
So in the Hollywood Studios, Rise of the Resistance, but before Galaxy's Edge, the Tower of Terror was always one of my favorites.
Yeah. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The theming in that, and I don't know. I think so many times I feel like people walk into the parks and, like if we don't have an annual pass, so naturally we want to maximize our time. But I think sometimes people go in and they totally miss the amazing theming of rides like the Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
The outside, the things in the outside queue, all the things in the lobby of the hotel. It's incredible.
I saw a video recently where the Imagineers watched every episode of the Twilight Zone 2 times before acquiring stuff to theme the tower with.
Yeah. And Russ had pointed out too, back then it was an actual working studios.
Yeah.
At that time they were making Stitch, or Lilo and Stitch. Was one of the movies made at Hollywood Studios, and Russ had talked about that. So they had some nice touches of a working studio and stuff like that.
Yes, that's true.
Mike, I remember the Honey I Shrunk the Kids stuff. I remember that play area and that show.
Yeah, I'll try to pull out a picture and post on Instagram tomorrow, Mike, from that part of the park. I have some good ones of you and Adam when you were small playing on all.
I used to go back on my days off and climb the netting or follow my nephews and nieces up through the netting.
Yeah, so
fun.
Yeah, I remember that too. And just so much. One of my favorite things about Hollywood Studios that is not there anymore, and it's interesting that this to me, it just is how much of an impression this attraction made on me. And that's the Oswald family Christmas lights.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
William, we went one year. William is a Christmas baby. We were in Magic Kingdom for his birthday. But on that trip, William was absolutely determined that I get over to see the Oswald family.
Osborne.
Osborne. I'm thinking of the Lucky Rabbit. The Osborne family Spectacle of Lights. Because, he just was, there were so many people who were captivated by that. It was, I talked to a couple of people in the line or in the area, where we were watching it, that said they came every year just to see that light display.
Yeah.
Interesting little side story here. And then I know I'm kind of chasing a rabbit here, but I did want to mention this. I actually know the guy who designed that light display originally for the Osborne family in Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
He is a very, very dear friend of ours. He's a fantastic, type A personality. Such a talented person, obviously an amazing, imagination, but Mr. Osborne hired him, found out, that he just did light displays, hired him and said, "Hey, I want you to come do a couple of pieces for me." And he had some ideas. So, Richard, designed him as best he could based on what Mr. Osborne said he wanted. And he liked everything so well that he just kept calling him back. Hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? And it got, y'all know the story.
Yeah.
It got huge to the point that the neighbors complained. Yeah. And he was told that he'd have to take it down. And we know the story. Eisner and Richard went with him when Eisner called and said, "Hey, we'll take your lights at Walt Disney World." Richard actually made the trip with Mr. Osborne and met Michael Eisner and helped them to decide, where to put things. And he oversaw the shipping, the whole bit. So shout out to Richard. For that.
That was incredible, especially when they had the residential area. You used to be able to walk through there, and then that whole back lot. Even by the time it ended, they had a nice spot. I did make a special trip down when it was
the Globe.
Yeah.
The Globe was one of the Globe.
Yes.
I believe Richard said the Globe was one of the last things that he designed.
That was nice.
It was one of the last things that he wanted to add. But Richard said he was designing for him through the year. It wasn't. He was having to build.
I'm sure it was an ongoing project.
Yeah, and it just got bigger and bigger. And so it was really cool talking to Richard about that experience. And such an amazing. I cried the first time that I saw those lights. I just stood. Talk about immersion. That's the Disney buzzword.
Oh yeah.
Wow. It was incredible. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it right now. So, Amy, were there any experiences that kind of stand out to you? Any particular experiences that you had that you feel like kind of have influenced you in your later years in your career?
I think for me it helped develop learning and working for Disney and everything like that. It kind of helped me learn to be as best as I can be a worker and pride myself on my work and just being a hard worker. And I did learn different things. I don't cook as much as what I probably did when I did there, but I do some of the things I still cook maybe that I've learned when I worked there. A Mexican chicken type of dish and stuff like that. But just that customer service, to learn the good customer service and kind of more or less try and help someone than just being like, "Oh, sorry, see you later, I can't help you," type of thing. But it was just at that time, it's kind of a blur because it has been so long ago on that. But it was an incredible experience. There's times that I have thought about, possibly going back. But I had, right now I do have one relative that's working there now in attractions. I had a friend who was working there, but unfortunately with all the cuts, it's abruptly no longer at this point. Which I feel bad about that. I feel bad for any of the cast members that may have had a long career there and everything came to a halt before you could retire. So I sit there and think about it. If had I stayed there, I would have probably been a 30-year member, and who knows? After 30 years, would I have been kicked out of there and I'm not even close to retirement age. My friend is a little bit closer to retirement age, so that's probably where their option's going to go.
Yeah.
But that's still, it's, but yeah, it was just an incredible experience. It did catch some eyes to where I'm working at now.
There you go.
So
there you go. So
and the big thing, finding different communities like this. Before I started the YouTube Disney community, I was in Disney news group communities. I'm still part of one where they try to meet every December whenever you can. I've been to some of their meets in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Cool.
And some of the people that I got to meet are some of the bigger name peoples like a Lou Mangello and a Len Testa, and the people who started allears.net. I know somebody else now owns it.
Neat.
But, I met the original people because they were part of those groups and offered different events at that time.
Yeah.
And I remember in 2000s, there was always a big meet here in Pennsylvania. And it was actually on the other side of the state near Harrisburg. And they would meet and get together and different Disney groups. And I also knew a guy that was from my area. He became one of the Disney ambassadors or he was part of some program that he won, one of those positions at one time.
Right.
And
that is neat. That is neat. Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it really sounds cool. William not had just all of his time every second and then some taken up. You applied actually for the college program at one.
I did my freshman year. I'd applied just to kind of float it out there. I really wanted to do it, but I worked for my school's for my university's football team, and in order to go, I there's no guarantee I would have been able to get my job back on campus, and so it was a tough call to make. I really wish if I have it my way, I'd like to, work a, nice, long, good career. And whatever I go to retire, I'd like to go and work in the parks.
Yeah.
And,
I know, for me, one of the neat experiences, and I'm switching over to something, but that first Christmas when the candlelight processional actually was still in the Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
And just watching that where they come down Main Street with all the lights off and the candles and stuff.
Wow.
It's incredible because it was kind of like how they do it in Disneyland still.
Yes.
Now, I'm kind of glad it's over and Epcot kind of spreads out the crowds a little bit more and you're not shutting down that front of the Main Street area and everything.
Yeah. That's true.
But that's always a special show that I always love to go see and everything.
Yeah.
And
that's amazing.
That's on my bucket list, aiming for Disneyland. I would
love to go see it at Disneyland.
I would too.
And everything, just because that's the original Walt was there and all of that.
Yeah.
I've been to Disneyland once. In fact, I used an old cast member tickets that they used to give out. I was in Las Vegas and decided to go over for a day and go there. It was just Disneyland. So there's a lot of catching up I'd like to do. So, and I know it's on a lot of people's bucket lists. I know D23 is in 2022. So that's something. Yeah. But even if I don't get to go do that, sometime hopefully I'll get to go sooner to Disneyland and enjoy DCA and Disneyland.
Yeah.
And also I did the college program and their after program it was from the end of August till right after the New Year's. I lived in Disney housing, and then after the Disney housing, if you wanted to stay on, you had the choice, which I did, for full time for a whole nother year of being there. I found roommates through people who were from Pittsburgh, which I had told you, and
that's
moved
neat.
into their apartment with them. And I would always kind of look around, and a lot of the places that were close to Disney that were apartments became timeshare places because of the changes and different things. So, because I remember looking at the timeshare that my sister owns as an apartment, I said, this used to be an apartment complex and stuff, because they would offer the furniture and everything there. But, a lot of those places became the timeshares, but there are a lot of different apartments and different places you can live. So, I spent about another year there, but with my family being back here and different things, I don't regret leaving, because I had a lot of opportunities in my life being back here. There is that time where I sit there like, well, what if I would have stayed, because I know more people that live down there. And I'm talking about even before I met the YouTube community. I knew other people. Like I said, I have my friend down there and a few other relatives that live in the area. But I also look at the opportunities that I've had over the years here that I wouldn't have had I been living there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's always, I feel like things kind of work out. We talked about a little of this pre-show, Amy. I feel like things kind of work out the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And, those experiences, that you have, every experience that you have, whether it's good or bad, shapes the person that you are tomorrow, that you are in the future. And so, I think, that's why we shouldn't let failures overcome us, because we learn from failures, possibly even more so than we do the good stuff. So, we always, spend a little time maybe, thinking about the road not traveled, but, I guess it's human nature, but, anyway.
And I know people.
We know you now. We were probably in the park.
Yeah.
You were there.
Probably, I know.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Michelle Monarch Moments was living in the area when I was living down there, and
wow,
a few other people. So it was like, wow, we probably crossed paths and never knew it. And
there's no telling how many people we've crossed paths with just from going to the parks over the years, and we just had no clue.
Yeah.
We probably there's a good chance we saw Mike Wheeler.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
In the parade.
Because he was in the parades. He was a grave digger, and and that Animal Kingdom and the Lion King show, and all of that stuff. And that's what got me intrigued, because when I was like watching YouTube and stuff, and then he kind of came along, and I would comment something, and he'd be like, "Oh, this." And I got real curious, like, hey, started asking questions. And he's like, yeah, I used to work there and different things and stuff. So that's how we kind of connected in a sense. And it was great to meet him in person. I can't wait to get back down there and meet up again with all the people and stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Go in November, the week before Thanksgiving.
I'm looking at my schedule. You never know.
Cool.
But and other people have said that. I love going. I do a lot of solo trips, but there are times that it is fun to go with my sister's family. The kids are a little bit older now, so they've been going to Disney since they were little, so sometimes they're not into it as much. So we kind of mix it up and do some other things, but we're always at least at one of the parks. I would say, if you ask me what my favorite parks are, I always say the Magic. I love the Magic Kingdom. The Magic's there. All the different rides and just that magic of walking in there. But my second favorite park, and it's always going to be Hollywood Studios, because it's close to my heart, because that's where I worked, and that has a lot of memories and different things for me, meaning.
So. And I should have said this before. If anybody in the chat has any questions, Amy, go ahead and drop those.
So what was your absolute favorite part of being a cast member, Amy? I kind of wondered. I was like, man, like if you're a cast member, like do you like go into the parks on your day off? Like, do you ever experience any sort of like fatigue? Like,
yeah, you always wonder that, and you sit there and think. I would say probably my favorite was being able to go to the parks anytime that I could.
Yeah.
If I knew I had family coming down, because on occasions I had some cousins that were in marching bands, I would kind of tailor back my park visits because I didn't want to be so-called burned out. I never really burned out on it because I discovered different things each time I would go to the parks. Like I never knew after a while of being there that Tony's Town Square was actually a restaurant right there in the town square for like the whole time, almost, until like a couple
it's the
months
craziest
before,
thing.
And I would go with other cast members that might have been off. We might meet up in the park and go and just have fun. I could remember like the first night after we got there and you got your IDs and stuff and went and okay, we're going Space Mountain. That was the first ride. Go ride Space Mountain a couple times in a row.
Absolutely.
And everything.
So cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I guess we ought to start wrapping it up.
I guess so. I hate to.
The only other thing that felt weird for me, since sometimes it felt like I was on a vacation a lot of times because of the way the work week went. Being in a different place, I know it was home for me and stuff like that, but like you had 2 days off in the week and it's usually back to back. So you would either have like say Monday, Tuesday off or Tuesday, Wednesday, or however they do the picking.
Gotcha.
And, they went by the seniority type of list and everything. So on those 2 days, if I had friends that were still in college that were going to Daytona Beach for spring break on those 2 days, I was going up there and, visiting them at Daytona Beach or something. So I think some of that or going over to Busch Gardens over in Tampa.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great part.
Trip.
Yeah.
It is.
I never did do a cruise from there. That was something when I got back to Pittsburgh, I was like, boy, that's probably something I would have done. But at that time of the thing, I know cruises were going and that, but it just wasn't a normal type of thing for me at that time to really want to do or whatever. But then later on, once I was doing other things, decided, hey, I'm going to do a cruise. And then I did go on a Disney Cruise Line like 2 times. But I really haven't been on a cruise since. So
we haven't done that yet. That's on the bucket list is a Disney cruise. Definitely need to have that experience. But Well, Amy, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about your channel and kind of what you've got going on? And I love your content. I love your channel. I'm glad that I found you.
Have a good night, Dean, the turkey legster. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Dean, the little turkey legster. I pretty much started my channel just because it was like, hey, let's do some things around Pittsburgh. I thought, what could I do? So that's how I started because I was watching other channels while I was going through my health issues and different things. So I needed something to do. And that's how I discovered a lot of different channels and getting to know. And I thought, hey, I could do this with my phone and would listen to various people talk about, hey, how can I do this? And they would explain and stuff. And I know when YouTube started putting those restrictions that you needed so many people before you could actually use the YouTube app on the thing. I remember Nick from Magical News Live telling people, hey, this is how you could do it, and showed people step by step how to live stream with this app and everything. I thought, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and try and do it. So a lot of my first streams was around Pittsburgh, and then I couldn't wait to get down to the parks to try at least some videos and stuff, and I would make some videos and everything. So going from there, but right now when I do get to the parks, I plan on live streaming whether it's just an hour or two, or maybe
Sure.
sometimes I know, like the first actual live stream I did from the parks, I was on the ferry boat and I got the Main Street, but I was with my family at the time, so I didn't want to like distract from them. So I kind of ended it while I was waiting for them to get what they needed for the day. And then I ended it, but then I just did kind of some vlogging type of things at times. But so when I'm at the parks, I try to do some live streaming. If I'm not at the parks, I sometimes will go around Pennsylvania and try to find different attractions or museums and different things. It's harder to live stream around your home because when you're, especially with equipment like a gimbal and different things, because people are looking at you like, what are you doing or whatever. So I try to, a lot of times I'll either put you on a something just to stabilize it, or just carry it, because I don't want to draw attention unless it's a big event or something. And sometimes the park may not even let you have the gimbal in the park, because we do have a local amusement park here at Kennywood. I've gone there a couple times and did some videos and live streamed from there a couple times. And around. So, and then right now I do a show Wednesdays at 6 p.m. It's a variety type of show. Sometimes I'll do trivia, show pins, merchandise haul, or just talk different things of Disney. I would probably have to start lining up some guests to have some different conversations of favorite restaurants or something like that. And then right now I'm doing a giveaway, because with the Mandalorian coming away, there's a prize.
I have entered that giveaway.
Make sure that you watch the video, and if you want to be entered, make sure you do hashtag the child. That way I'll know your name and you want to be part of the giveaway. And even, you might don't want to really be part of the giveaway, but maybe somebody else that that might want that. You can always, if you're the person that wins, you can always let me know and I can forward it to that particular person.
Neat.
So if you're the winner, watch the video and then make sure, leave a comment down below, hashtag the child. That way I know your name is entered. And and that's pretty much it. You don't need to subscribe or anything like that. It's just something fun. I saw that and I thought, hey, that would be a great giveaway. And I'm gonna have some other giveaways, because different clearance things and stuff that's just cluttering up things. So just look out for that. So. And sometimes I do pop-up trivias.
Yeah, while you're on Amy's channel, watch her content. You'll subscribe. Definitely. Yeah.
But I consider subscribing. Just watch the different videos. Consider subscribing. I hope to get back to the parks soon to get some newer content of the parks and things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
And I do appreciate being on here, so it was fun.
Oh, we were so
thanks.
Amy, you're welcome anytime. Anytime you want to pop in and say hi, you're just welcome anytime.
Stacy says I like Amy's version of a yard sale. LOL.
Right, Stacy. Absolutely. I do too. We need to do more of that, Amy.
Well, I do have a few things. Like I said, it's easier to do a giveaway than try and post it for sale or something and stuff. So, and and there are a few people, they love trying to win different things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's fun. It's just fun. And like you said, with Christmas coming up, you could enter, if you have, somebody in mind that you might not keep it for yourself, you might enter and win and have a gift for somebody else. So so definitely. Okay. Just quickly, guys, I guess we ought to start wrapping it up here. We're getting over. But I did want to just quickly mention this. Today's big news was, of course, about Disneyland. State of California has once again dangled the carrot in front of them. And, we kind of got excited. Jillian, sent us a text or you'll notice that she had gotten probably something on Twitter that she had seen that Disneyland's going to be opening fairly soon, but the details were not there, like an opening date, that kind of thing, a timetable. None of that was there. So when I went back in to kind of check it out and find out more about it, I found out that Disney is actually not happy at all with this. The Anaheim mayor, Ken Petrock from Disneyland Resort, he's the president of Disneyland. They're not real happy about this because of the restrictions. Ken Petrock released, a big statement on it saying basically, this is just not a good thing. It's not what we need. The restrictions are too heavy. And the Anaheim mayor pretty much joined him in the criticism and saying, we got to get back to work. So
Chapek put out a YouTube video, didn't he?
Yes, Bob Chapek did put out a YouTube video on it, which I haven't watched yet.
Yeah, we need to watch that.
Yeah.
And see. So there's, I really think we need to, just be thinking of all the cast members out there and people who work in other industries that support, all the hotels around there, the food service,
and the small businesses that are in and around
businesses that are suffering because Disneyland is closed. I heard or read somewhere that Disneyland is actually 85% of the city of Anaheim's tax base.
Wow.
And so that, guys, that's a lot. So we really, I hope they can, I really hope they can, can open soon. They just need to open it. Guys, the only park in the world that is not open is Disneyland.
Yeah, the only Disney park.
China are open. So, yeah. So I feel really bad for all those, for the people, the city of Anaheim and the people who are affected. And we're thinking about you guys and hope they get it open, pretty soon. I did want to let you know a question or a announcement on What in the World with Russ. We are doing kind of a collab, I guess, with Russ. We were on his stream a couple of days ago, and it was kind of a costume roulette, and we put all these different costume ideas in a hat, and Russ drew them out, and we all had to draw a costume. And then on Halloween, we're going to all come and do a stream wearing our costumes, and there'll be some, little silly, awards given out. I don't know if Russ is still in the chat, but so that's going to be on What in the World with Russ on his channel at 3:00 on October 31st, Halloween. So
that'll be a lot of fun.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I did want to mention that. Also, I am so excited, guys, because tomorrow officially starts my Disney countdown, and I am counting down. The first video drops tomorrow. I'm counting down to my Disney World trip with the Star Wars Lego Advent calendar, and the first video drops tomorrow morning. So be watching for that. It'll drop really early, so when you get up, check that out. And all of the days are either a little character, a little Lego character, or a ship or something from the Star Wars universe. So that's a lot of fun. So you guys,
Russ, I don't know that I consented to that. Oh no.
Okay. I have figured out that in our Disney community, consent does not have to be a literal thing.
Oh no.
And James, no, I don't think William knew that at all. So.
I did not.
We're going to be doing that next week on Hitchhiker Chat, and William hasn't worked out his piece of this yet, but we're going to do a special show next week in honor of season 2 of The Mandalorian, which drops on October 30th. Yes, I am so ridiculously excited. If you're not watching, if you haven't watched season 1, back up, watch the eight chapters of season 1. It's fantastic. Disney could have my subscription to Disney Plus just for this one show, guys. That's how good it is. So this next week's Hitchhiker Chat will be a special show. And I might drop some, I don't know. Should we drop a hint, William, as to kind of what we're going to do? I don't know if we drop a hint or not. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't know. Maybe people might be able to smell what you're cooking. I don't know.
Maybe so. And
who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. It could, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So y'all be sure and tune in next week for the show.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good segue to The Mandalorian dropping on October 30th. So be sure and watch that.
Garrett, I don't think anyone wants to see that, my friend.
Oh my gosh. Russ, you guys will have to talk behind the scenes about that.
Oh my.
I don't know. Good luck with that, Russ.
Russ asked if Dwayne The Rock Johnson was going to be on. Oh no, unfortunately not. I would freak out if The Rock was on our stream.
Hey, you've hit upon William's man crush.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson is kind of William's man crush.
He's one of my celeb man crushes for sure.
Yes, he absolutely is. We also have, don't forget, our new live stream. Well, it's not really new now, but our new live stream on Thursdays at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, called Mandomania. And we are discussing 2 episodes each week from season 1 of The Mandalorian as we count down to season 2. So for that, that's been a lot of fun. And of course, this coming Saturday, Jillian will be on for What's Brewing with the Bones. This Saturday.
Actually, this coming Saturday, we're going to have you fill in or me fill in, one of the two. Probably you, because she's got a friend's bachelorette party this weekend. So,
okay, no problem. We can do it 8:15 Saturday morning, guys, and I'll be for Jillian. So join us, and we'll have a little coffee and breakfast and enjoy ourselves. Just talking and hanging out. So look forward to all of that, especially next week for Hitchhiker Chat, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Stacy, that is really cool. You know, The Rock's cousin's wife. And then Garrett says, oh man, Will, you were just as man as Dwayne. You can handle it. And Stacy says, Will, I could also send you pictures of The Rock's high school. That's really cool. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Send that over on Instagram. I'd love to see it. Mm-hmm. Just trying to wrap up here real quick. Miscellaneous announcements for the channel. Thank you to Dean at the Live Place. Also has a YouTube channel called Dreamers Empire. Very good content. Dean, thank you for having the liveplace.com, which is essentially a TV guide for family-friendly content on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And then we also wanted to mention Dole Whip Dad is live currently. He has a new show, or new-ish. He's a few weeks into it at this point. Newish show called Welcome Home, Disney DVC. So he talks about Disney Vacation Club stuff on that stream, and he goes live at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, we're headed over there after we get done.
Yeah, and also if you're a YouTube creator, check out TubeBuddy. It's a tool that helps you analyze your videos for performance and help you, give you ideas for better titles, how to boost your views, how to make better videos.
It's free, guys.
And it's free. Now there is a paid version, but we have an affiliate link down there at the bottom. This is not a paid endorsement, but yeah, it's great. It's really helped us grow a lot so far, and we've enjoyed using it. And also special shout out to our ghost host moderators for being there in the live streams this week and every week. We love y'all. Have a lot of fun chatting on our chat on Instagram. And thank you so much for being here. Shout out to everybody that's going to watch on the replay. We love you too. Thank you for the support and the encouragement. And everybody that watched tonight on the live stream, but is watching in ninja mode. We love you too. We're so thankful for everybody that that supports our channel. And just want to run through the names real quick. I think I caught most everybody. Hopefully I didn't miss Didn't miss anyone, but shout out to first and foremost Amy of AJC Magic TV for being here on the stream with us tonight. It's been a blast talking to you about your experiences and your memories and Disney. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
It's been fun.
Thank you. Yeah, again, the invitation's always extended, so feel free to drop back in on us, and we'll send you an invite too again at some point, because I know we could talk Disney forever, and we'd love to hear more about your experiences. So thank you, Amy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Shout out to Aunt Joy, who always watches but never comments. We love you. Thank you for watching. Mike Wheeler, James Ryan, Dean the Turkey Lexter, BDF, Griswold Family Vacay, Stacy Rogers, Elena K808, Car Key, Carol, we love you. Thanks for always being so supportive. Mickey Sightings, What in the World with Russ, Diz Our Dream, Marn Memphis, Monarch Moments, Our Epic RV Adventure, Tina McNeil DCS, Shelly Starwalker, Kadani Sean, Going Green Mom, Piglet Rue Loves Disney, and J&N Travels. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here tonight. It's been a wonderful time. And yeah, we've thoroughly enjoyed hearing about Amy's time as a cast member, and we'd love to hear more of your stories later on too.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, remember, if you can dream it, if you can do it. We go live every Tuesday night at 9:00 Central, 10:00 Eastern. Be sure to join us or catch the replay. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you're new. That way you know when we go live, because we're looking forward to being in the parks next month. But we're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Check us out there, or you can email us at thehitchhikingbones@gmail.com. All the information's in the description if you want to check it out. But thanks again, especially to Amy. You've got some wonderful comments in the chat tonight. You're a wonderful person, and we enjoy your friendship and your company, and look forward to the next time having you on.
Thank you. I look forward to it also.
Absolutely. Thanks, Amy. And we'll be watching your content, because I really love it. I love to come to trivia shows, and so it's just nice to know you.
All right.
Yes, thank you.
Does anybody have anything else they want to share before we call it a night?
I think I'm good. I think we're good.
All right. Thanks again, everyone. And as always, please hurry back. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks again.
Have a great week.
We love you guys.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.